Hi, Dr. Chris Baker here. Today I thought I would talk a little bit about an online discussion that I've been participating in that has to do with people who are wanting to or have added orthodontic treatment to an existing practice where pediatric patients are being treated, general or pediatric. Point is they're adding orthodontics. They've looked at it in the discussion in the group. Some of them have looked at it from the idea of adding an orthodontist as an associate, as a partner, whatever. Some of them have looked at it from the standpoint of learning orthodontics themselves and adding that to their treatment offerings, which I, of course, strongly recommend to you. But either way, no matter what you do, as someone who has done it 3 times, I have added complete, full, comprehensive orthodontics from the child patient all the way to the adolescent patient to my practice. And again, in 3 different experiences, I can tell you the secret sauce. The secret sauce to have success, very simply, systemization. Systems, you might say? Like what? I have systems. Yes, exactly. But orthodontic systems are going to be different. Let me give you some examples. Okay. The first example is going to be the systems of your appointment sequencing for orthodontics. Sure, they start out with an orthodontic exam. That's familiar to you. Exam appointment has to come first. Then from the orthodontic exam, the next appointment that we would recommend scheduling would be the orthodontic records. At the exam appointment, we have already explained to the parent in my practices what the cost of the records is going to be, and what the records will entail, and how long it will take. They come for the records appointment. Sometimes we can do that the same day if the time permits, and if they're really wanting to do that. We don't push them, but we can offer it sometimes. Third appointment, so to speak, then, is going to be the conference, the orthodontic conference. We're going to sit down with them and talk about what their child's findings are, and we're going to talk about what we recommend. Then the next appointment will likely be separators, so that at a following visit, 5 to 7 days later typically, we're going to have the child in to have band fit and impressions for any required appliances in their treatment. Finally, the 6th visit, believe it or not, they're going to get their appliance delivered and their braces, if it's time to deliver braces. So that is 6 visits in your system of appointment sequencing. There you look at it and think, wow, 6 visits before we start? Exactly. Now, today it's very popular for consultants to say, for orthodontics, get the child in or patient in, give them the information, and see if you can just get them into braces. Get something on. Then you got them. Well, that's one way to look at it. I don't happen to agree with that at all. Let me tell you why. First of all, how are you going to demonstrate and develop relationship? How are you going to show them that you care, that you're a professional, that you care about what their needs are, that you're honoring them? How are you going to show them that they can trust you? In fact, in every single successful orthodontics practice, parents want to trust, and they want to know that you're the one to trust. So I have parents come into my practice with braces on, where they've gone to another practice, and by the time the child walked out, the child had braces on. They didn't expect it. They didn't know it was going to happen. And they come straight over to me and say, would you please give us a second opinion? And when I go through with them what the sequencing is going to be, and all I go through so far is next visit will be records. Oh, well, we didn't even have that done at the other practice. Well, maybe we did. We had some photos taken. Well, whatever. I'm going to talk about that with them. And then I'm going to give them the one more piece of information, which is the appointment after that will be the conference. And you and I will sit down and talk about everything, what your child has going on, and what I recommend and why. And at that conference, they don't have to come. It can be just you and me. If they're out of school, you want to bring them, that's fine. But that's the way we get them involved in what's going to happen in their child's early preparatory treatment. Now, that's one system. So you can see now, you want to get them into your relationship system, so to speak, too. Okay, the system of the conference. Let's talk about that. The system of the conference is interesting because indeed you actually have to figure out and write. By the way, I didn't mention all of these things need to be written in your operations manual. You can revise it, you can change it as you need to, but your systems should all be written down in your operations manual. Let me take a little bunny trail here. Why? So that you don't have to keep telling different staff members over and over and over what to do. You refer them to the manual. You refer them to the fact that they are going to have everything that they need to know right there for them, and they can go do it, right? Okay, so now the system of the conference. Are you going to put, what's going to be on the computer screen for the parent to see? Are you going to be showing the photos, the models? Or are you going to have the models in plaster? Or are you going to have the models on the screen digitally? Whichever. Are you going to have the x-rays on the screen? Are you going to have them on the table, or both? Are you going to have the photos on the screen or on the table? Why am I belaboring this point? Because we have paper copies of both photos and panoramic that we're going to send home with the parent. So they can go home and talk to, sometimes it's to talk to dad, sometimes it's to talk to mom, more rarely, but sometimes I've got only one parent that wants to go home and talk about it. We also have the models on the table. I love digital models, but I also love plaster models. So for me, we've got both. I also have the frontal and lateral x-rays on the screen, so I can refer to airway issues that I'm telling them about for their child if it's appropriate. And I also have the ENT referral form, if that's appropriate, already completed and ready to review with them, along with the CD that they can take with them that has the x-rays on it for the ENT. So think about it. You need to decide what you're going to provide, where you're going to put everything. Another thing that we do, this is kind of interesting. When they first walk in, of course you know that they love their child. They wouldn't be there if they didn't love their child. So what is the first thing they see in front of them? The photos. Whether it's on the screen or in print or both. Let them have their child's picture right in front of them first thing. And I say on a regular basis to these parents, so here's your beautiful little girl, or here's your sweet boy, or here's your funny and precious little thing. Look at this. Whatever, some kind of intro to the fact that I am now in relationship with their child and they can enjoy their child as they look at the pictures, okay? So the system of the conference has all these decisions that need to be made up front. Your staff should know that the panoramic x-ray print that I'm going to send home is under, not hidden, but under the photos, because they're going to look at their pictures first. That's what they want to see. And the treatment plan on which I have put on the front page the findings for their child, what's going on in their mouth, from skeletal to airway to dental to plaque to gingivitis to restorative, anything that's going on that needs to be stated. That's the front. And on the back is the actual treatment plan. What do we propose to do and why for their child? And it even has on the back, of course, the fee for the treatment, the timing for the treatment, and the signatures for everyone after we reviewed things. Okay, so now they look at pictures of their child. They see molds, models sitting on the table. They see the treatment plan paper that I actually have my hand on as I sit next to them to review it. And I happen to have my cephalometric tracing information from my workup. Mine happens to be Rocky Mountain Diagnostic Systems. I've also used Dolphin many years. So whatever tracings you have, I have them to refer to if we need to. All of this on the table, and we know exactly where it all goes. We know that the room needs to be neat, that the office needs to be clean, that we don't want to have somebody's coffee sitting there. No, we want to offer the parent coffee. So our system of the conference is very important too. Another example for you. You're gonna have to develop systems of orthodontic kits or trays or however you do your instrumentation. What's going to be in the exam kit for that first initial visit? that examination. What is it going to be? A mirror, explorer, air water tip, typically a couple of 2x2s. What's going to be there? What's going to be in your record setup so that you're ready when they come in to get appropriate x-rays, to get photos with the camera, with the lip retractors, with the cheek retractors. What's going to be, how are you going to set up your trays? How are you going to set up your information for them on the molds, the impression trays? So all of these things have to be set out as part of your systems of orthodontic instrumentation. What's going to be in your banding kit for the banding day or band fit? What's going to be in your bracketing kit for the day you deliver brackets? We do 2 separate ones because sometimes we're not doing banding and bracketing on the same day. What's going to be in your check and adjust kit? That every time that patient comes in for a braces check, you pull it out. And are you going to keep a basic kit, which we do, for emergencies and things that you don't know if you're going to have to open a check and adjust kit? So these are the kinds of things. And where are you going to store pliers? And how will they be placed? And how will they, all of the systems work for all of this instrumentation? That's another example. Finally, and this is a biggie because you are in a business to make money, you need a really good system also of orthodontic invoicing. Now, I strongly recommend that this is fee for service. They pay you, and if there's insurance, that they then get reimbursed by submitting their invoice and claim from your office to their company. I recommend that strongly. Be that as it may, you've got to lay out your system. How are you going to do it? The contract, the orthodontic contract, is part of not only your conference, by the way, but it's also part of your invoicing system. What does it say? What percentage do they pay when the braces start? How do you divide up the remaining portion over the 12 months, 15 months, 20 months? How do you do that? That all needs to be in the system. And how do they deal with, if they want to pay in full up front, do they get a discount? We happen to give 5%. Maybe you want to do that, maybe you don't. The contract and manner of presentation is all part of your invoicing. So these are systems that are absolutely requisite. That's the secret sauce. If they are organized, written down, and followed, and of course edited as days go by and months go by, we change things. We should. Your staff come to you with, this isn't working. Can we do this? Of course, let's get it worked out. Systems are your secret sauce for adding orthodontics to your practice as a treatment modality, whether you're learning it yourself, which you can do. It's been a wonderful journey for me to offer my orthodontic treatment as well as pediatric dentistry to our patients. Or you hire an orthodontist. Either way, the secret sauce is systemization.